Today I'm going to be talking about why you need to get into construction and why you need to think about construction. When I was growing up, my dad used to work in construction as a welder, and growing up, I only thought of construction as a role, an industry, and a job where you'd have to be doing physical work. I never even knew about the corporate side, the office side of construction. Fast forward all those years, I'm actually working in construction, but I do nothing on site. Everything I do is from my computer, it's remote, it can be done anywhere from the world, really. And to be honest, like I end up working in cafes and other places a lot of the time. I'm not sort of required to be on site all the time. In this video, I'm going to be explaining why you need to, and I really, really strongly suggest you listen carefully to what the opportunity is. So let's get into it. In 2018, this is when I was second year of college. I was about to study economics at university, so I'd done my UCAS application at that time, and I applied to do economics at the University of Greenwich in 2019, starting 29. But then on clearing day, I changed my mind and I took a gamble on something called quantity surveying, and I barely understood the career at this point. And I sort of and I had someone in my circle who was a QS, and they explained to me that a QS is a combination of a lawyer, an accountant, and an engineer, and you basically manage the money on construction projects. And I was like, cool. And then since then, I've now worked on HS2. I've been able to buy a house and I'm earning over 50k. And the truth is, there was no YouTubers, no TikTokers, no one on social media explaining what QSing is or just the corporate construction industry. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna basically tell you what the opportunity is, because it's a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger than people think. So let's talk about why you need to be a quantity surveyor. And this is basically the reality check. So most people, when they're deciding what career they want to go down and what they want to choose, they choose based on what they see around them. So I have grown up and seen Uber drivers, welders, dry cleaners. A lot of my uncles work in the dry cleaners. I know one uncle, he's not even in the country, he's abroad. He's a lawyer. And I've got another uncle who's a high street accountant, so not really like a proper big four accountant. He's just one of them ones that does the local business accounting and all that kind of stuff. As a 10-year-old, those are the men that I had in my life. And then as a 15 or as a 16-year-old, I found out about QSing. But generally, when you're sort of at that age, when you're just thinking about what you're going to do in the future, as in you're 16, 17, 18, you usually have these few roles around you. You've either got teachers around you, or you've got sort of nurses, doctors, or someone in the NHS, because at some point all of us go to the doctor and go to the GP and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got an accountant around you, or someone in maths related, something like that. But construction and quantity surveying, it never comes up in sort of career advice day. They never tell you about construction for some reason. But construction is literally a 400 billion pound industry that's desperate for people. Construction is one of those industries that is literally the heartbeat of the UK economy. Like without construction and without sort of transport infrastructure construction, the UK would just crumble. The economy would crumble. People wouldn't be able to get to work. People wouldn't be able to do their jobs. Foods, big shops like Asda's and Tesco's, they wouldn't be able to get the food deliveries. If the rail services stopped working, if the water services stopped working, there'd be absolute carnage on the streets. So it's an essential industry in the country. And to be honest with you, my career advisors never mentioned it, and I stumbled on it by accident. And I always believe that if you don't know, it's not really your fault. But after watching this today, you will know. So you need to get into construction. But let's look at the other options. So we spoke about teaching, and teachers sort of start with a bursary. You get a grand welcome offer. You get a handshake at sort of 30k tax free, or you get a 20k, 28k bursary, I think. Maths teachers and physics teachers, science teachers are getting bursaries. But the truth is, with teachers, the salary is sort of at 40, 45k, unless you start going into sort of leadership roles within a school. So you're going for head of year, head of department, or key stage coordinator, or something along those lines. And then you climb those. And even those, that can be quite competitive. Then you've got nursing, or something to do with sort of GPs or healthcare or working in a clinic. Then you've got accounting. It's one of those careers that is really saturated. There's a lot of people within accounting. It's quite tough to get in. And once you get into accounting, the truth is become chartered is even harder. Accounting exams are the hardest exams outside of, school, college, university. And then finally we've got law. And with law, the only thing is that it's a challenging, noble cause, but it's really challenging to get qualified. It's really expensive. It takes 5 to 7 years. And the truth is, there's no guarantees. You can go to law school, get a law degree, but are you going to get a 2 year training course? And the truth is, you're probably going to be competing with people from all over the world. All of these basically you are extremely competitive. Now, here's the advantage of being a quantity surveyor. First of all, there is a skills shortage. Companies need you. A 3 year degree gets you in, compared to some of these law or accounting where you're doing a degree, then some training, and then probably more exams and all that kind of stuff. With QSs, it is quite common to have multiple offers. Especially once you're in the industry for about a year or two, it's really easy to move around and get other companies to sort of give you offers, give you interviews, give you opportunities to start working for them. Like at one point, I think a few months into my own career, I had loads of recruiters calling me all the time saying, companies are looking for young talent, come and work for us, come and work for us, come and work for us. And the other thing with QSing is there's a clear path to get to at least 60K package within 5 years. The demand for QSs is so high that this used to be maybe 7, 8 years back in the day. But for anyone coming into the industry right now, I think 5 years is realistic. Let's look at the opportunity. The truth is that there's an aging workforce. The average age of someone in construction is 47. So 47 means 50% of the people working are more than 47, which means that they're heading towards retirement. That's number one. Number two, there's 300,000 unfulfilled roles, which means if you go into Indeed or Read or any of these websites and you look for any work related to construction, the total number of jobs is going to be 300K. Tell me another industry where they need people like this. Cool. The other thing is 20% of this entire workforce is going to be retiring in the next 10 years. And the other thing is Brexit has literally reduced the talent pool in this country. Back in the day, there used to be a lot of people from Europe. Like I've worked with a lot of international people, but there's not new people coming in because of Brexit. Now, considering all these things, this is actually a very good opportunity for people coming into construction because companies are desperate and they need people to deliver projects and do these jobs. Graduate salaries are up 10 to 20% in the last 5 years because when I started, just before I started, graduates were getting paid around 23, 24K. When I started, I was getting paid 27K, but I know graduates now who are on 31, 32, 33K. It's going to go up in the next couple of years as well. You have leverage. You have to think about a position where once you're in the industry for a few months, once you're in the industry for 1 year, you will have leverage to move around, look at other companies, look at other sectors, look at, just keep growing. And this final point about job security, I don't think I can think of another industry that has job security like construction does. Like I said to you at the start, construction is literally the heartbeat of this economy. Without construction, the economy would crumble. So, there's always going to be job. And let me tell you a little story now. Back in the day, I used to work for BB Bro, and our senior QS left. He left in November, and it took the company maybe 8 months. Like it took them until summer next year to hire someone as a freelancer on a day rate, and they were probably getting paid around £400 a day, just purely out of the desperation of not being able to find anyone permanent. That was the situation in 2023, but now it's even worse. Companies need even more people. Companies don't need you today or tomorrow for a month or 2 months or a year. They need you for 20, 30 years. Let's talk about the housing situation reality in the UK. The truth is, most young people are not going to move out of their parents' home for the next 10, 15 years. Like, people are going to graduate, people will have kids, will have family, will get married, will have two, three kids, and still be living with their parents. Like, I personally know people who are well into their 30s, about to touch 40, but because of the cost of living crisis and because of crazy house prices, they're just not able to buy their own house and move out. The truth is, the QS advantage is literally this. In your salary, you will see steady growth in the first 5 years up to 60K. And by the time you're 30, you want to be getting chartered, you want to be getting multi sector experience, you want to be someone who's in demand. And my actual timeline is this: when I graduated, I think I was on about 27K. By 2023, I was on 44K. Like, I was deep in it. I was thinking to myself, I didn't get the best A levels. I didn't get the best university degree results. I got into a job, and in 2 years' time, by 2023 May, I was making 44K. Like, I think that's pretty good by UK standards. And I know so many other graduates who can only dream of this number. And I feel so blessed even speaking about this right now. And one of the most important reasons why I'm making this is so that I can help you. And I want you to realize that you can be making these kind of numbers if you do get into construction. Now let's talk about why. Now let's talk about what roles within construction. So, obviously, I said to you, blue collar construction, so manual labor is. Let's put that to the side. I'm not talking about any of that. I don't know enough about that to be talking about it in public. I have my opinions about it. I'm not going to put them out in public. I'm talking about what I know. I know QSs, project managers, and planners are three roles that are huge in demand. So what do QSs do? They basically manage the cost, manage the contract, and manage the procurement of materials, subcontractors, whatever it is. They've got the best earning potential, in my opinion. And you do get client side, contractor side, specialist QSs. And once you get into the industry, you can choose which one you want to be. The next is project managers. Project managers basically run the project, they're accountable for the project, they lead the team, they are people focused, and they have slightly higher salaries than QSs, but it is more competitive to get in because you don't just have QSs become a project manager. You have project managers who study project management, get into that, and you also have engineers who then shift into project management later on in the career. Then you have planners. Planners basically create programs, create schedules for projects, for large scale projects. And there is a growing demand for planners because planning is one of those things that it is a challenging career. It's easy to be a planner, but I see very few good planners. So if you're a good planner, you'll be very much in demand. If you understand what you're doing, you'll be very in demand as a planner. And I chose QS because I like the money. I like being able to deal with money. I like being able to sort of manage the money on the projects. And how do we deliver on budget? How do we make profit? That's something that sort of drives me. And how do we handle these money related challenges? This is something that I'm interested in. So I chose surveying. Now let's talk about what's not good about construction. The truth is, the first 6 months, it is an incredibly steep learning curve. The site, sometimes you also have to be on site. In the rain, in the mud, it doesn't matter. Even if it's cold, even if it's dark, you have to be there. The other thing is, for me, there's loads and loads of long meetings and Excel. Excel is basically my best friend. All I use is Excel. It is male dominated, but that's changing depending on who you work for, whether you work for client, consultancy, or main contractor or subcontractor. And you do need thick skins. Again, this depends, but this is generally what's bad about the industry. And for me, I always think about, I need to be in this room. I don't care if I'm the dumbest person in this room, but I need to just ask these questions because I want to know. And all these people I see right now, they're probably going to die in 5, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I'm never going to see them again. So I don't care if I feel or look dumb. I'm just going to ask these questions so I can build my own sort of knowledge base. And I'm just unapologetically like asking questions and curious and, oh, what's this? Why is it like that? What's this? Why is it like that? That's how I operate. So by now, I hope you've understood why you need to get into construction and why you need to choose an industry that's got demand for you, an industry